What's up guys, JP back at you once again, bring you guys another 10 and 10. This is basically a series where I talk about 10 movies in about 10 minutes. And first up here we have Ice Cream Man. This is a Vinegar Syndrome release. It was a limited release, and I believe that if all goes well they might put it out in a standard edition. I believe there still are copies left that you can get at vinegarsyndrome.com, and I gotta say guys, this movie is awesome, and this release is even more awesome. First of all, the transfer is absolutely amazing. I could not believe how much the colors just pop, and it's just a beautiful transfer. I was super happy with it. Once again, Vinegar Syndrome proves why they are the best in the game at transfers. And what's really cool about this particular release is it actually has a special feature which features the episode of Monster Vision in which Ice Cream Man made, I believe it's network TV debut, which I actually watched when it aired way back in the 90s, I believe. And it's hosted by Joe Bob Briggs, who's kind of like this horror host who was like a lot different from your typical horror host like Elvira and stuff like that. But he would just basically talk about the movie, and at the time in the 90s he was giving you information that you just can't get anywhere else, you know, unless you were lucky enough to have a computer and internet, and even then the information was a lot more limited back then. But they put that segment on here. It is in standard definition, obviously. They have like the TNT logo blurred out in the corner, but I have never seen a release of a movie that actually included one of the original Monster Vision episodes, so that was really awesome. I remember seeing it back in the day. I've seen it since online, but it's just one of my favorite Monster Vision episodes, and Ice Cream Man is an awesome movie. I wish I could talk about it more, but I'm already like 2 minutes in just talking about Ice Cream Man. So Ice Cream Man, 7 out of 10, awesome flick. After that we have JDs Revenge, which is from 1976. It's a movie that I'm gonna be preparing to do a top 10 of 1976 on the 22 Shots of Movies and Horror podcast. So this is one of the titles that I needed to get to, and luckily Arrow just put it out on Blu-ray. It's a sort of a revenge, blaxploitation, supernatural possession flick. It's a little light on the horror, but there's like an attempted rape scene, and you know, it's basically this guy JD possesses this other guy and is out for revenge and stuff like that. It wasn't bad. It was honestly super well acted for an exploitation film from the 70s. I thought it was pretty good. I give it a 7 out of 10. After that we have Leatherface, and this is coming to us courtesy of Lionsgate. And Leatherface, honestly guys, like, I really like this movie. It's different from all the other Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, like way different. It's completely the redheaded stepchild of the series, but I actually like it for what it is. It doesn't make the most sense in terms of continuity with the original film, but I did think that it was a good attempt at sort of a different style of origin story. It reminds me a lot of like The Devil's Rejects, like if you would take, which is actually sort of reminiscent of Texas Chainsaw, so it's like, you know, imitating art type thing. But this disc doesn't have a ton of special features, but I did check out the deleted scenes, which add a little bit more character development to the characters, and honestly probably could have been in the film. I think it would have been beneficial to the movie, honestly. I don't think it would have hurt it at all, but that's Leatherface. After that we have Death Dream. This is a Blue Underground release. This is a Bob Clark film. It follows a family who lose their son in the Vietnam War, but he actually returns home. But something's different about him. There's tons of social commentary in this film about post-traumatic stress disorder, and it is really well done. Great film from Bob Clark. It's one that you guys should definitely seek out if you never saw it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's from like 1974, and I'd probably give that one like an 8.5. After that we have Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and Terminator 2 Judgment Day is one of my favorite films of all time. It's like in my top 5. I absolutely love it. It's not a horror film, but I really love this film. I think that it is the perfect sequel. It's the best sequel ever made. It's one of the best action films ever made, one of the best sci-fi films ever made. Phenomenally acted. each character has an arc. It's explored throughout the film. I mean, you could go on and on about Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It is a fantastic movie, and I absolutely love it. It's a 10 out of 10 to me, and this is actually my first 4K release here. Next up here we have Life, and this is a movie that is still sealed, obviously, but I did watch it. I just didn't watch this version of it. And Life I absolutely loved. I cannot even describe how surprised I was at Life. I thought it was just a awesome ride. It was like claustrophobic and, you know, very reminiscent of like the original Alien. I really dug the mythology of the creature that they set up. I actually feared the creature. I thought that it was a cool, you know, effect. It was mostly CGI, obviously, but I thought that it looked pretty good for being CGI. Honestly, like, Life super surprised me. I'm not going to rate it now, but it is definitely one that I highly recommend. I think that people kind of went into this one expecting something a little bit different. I think if you have low expectations, this one's going to knock your socks off. I really, really loved Life. After that, we have another Vinegar Syndrome here, and it is Bloodbeat. And guys, Bloodbeat is not a good movie. It's a fun movie, but it is a atrocious film. It just is so hard to follow. You don't really understand what's going on. I believe it follows a family that is psychically connected to a samurai ghost warrior thing that is killing them, and it's connected to this girl when she masturbates or something like that. It is a bizarre movie, guys. Honestly, it's not good, but it's something. It's cool to kind of see these movies released by Vinegar Syndrome, but it's definitely not a good movie. After that, we have The Houses That October Built 2, and this one's coming to us courtesy of RLJE Entertainment, and yeah, this is a follow-up that I guess was a little unexpected. It kind of picks up where the first one left off. I'm not exactly sure if it has the same actors. I didn't do the research, and it's been a while since I've seen the first Houses That October Built. But I really liked the first one, and this one I really liked too for the most part. I love the concept of these people making documentaries and filming these haunts. Like, just the early scenes of them going to the different haunts. Like, there's one with, like, a zombie apocalypse where they have to, like, run, you know, from these zombies. And it's actually really well shot. It looks super cool. There's another one where they're playing, like, this, like, survive the room type thing. And that one's really cool, too. And I wonder if some of these are actual attractions that you could go to in real life, because they look like it. The film kind of falls apart, you know, with the ending and some of the stuff like that, but I still actually enjoyed it. I came in at a 6.5 on this one. Pretty solid watch. Not the best, but, you know, I liked it. After that, we have Better Watch Out, and I swear to God, this is like the 10th time I've reviewed this film this year, but Better Watch Out, awesome movie. I absolutely love it. If you like The Babysitter, you're probably going to like this one. It's The Babysitter with a toned-down comedy, and I think this is a better movie. It has cool references to other Christmas films, mainly Home Alone, and it has just this great Christmas atmosphere, and honestly, you invest a lot into the characters that you're presented with, and I thought that it was a phenomenal watch. It's one of my favorites of the year. I've watched it twice now, and I really, really love it. And that one gets a 9 out of 10. And finally, guys, we have Kong Skull Island. And Kong Skull Island is a film that I had super low expectations for. I wasn't really expecting much out of it. But as I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. I actually don't mind Peter Jackson's King Kong. It's just a little bit too long. But one thing that I love about Peter Jackson's King Kong is when they're on Skull Island. And this film takes place on Skull Island. So I think that the funnest part of King Kong movies is when they're on Skull Island with all the weird, crazy creatures and stuff like that. Like, there's this one that's legs look like bamboo. It's this giant creature. There's like a giant squid, and Kong is pretty cool. The CGI is great in this one. There's a lot of comedic beats in this film from the guy who was in Step Brothers. which I thought were actually super hilarious. John Goodman's character was a little wasted, I felt like. I was expecting a little bit more out of, you know, having John Goodman in your film. But I definitely really enjoyed Kong Skull Island. It has a cool, like, little final scene there that kind of teases where the series is going next, which I really enjoyed. Pretty cool flick. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I very much enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed another 10 and 10. Please subscribe and you know, check out more videos. Kind of been slacking lately, honestly, guys, but hopefully in 2018 I'll bring you guys a bunch of fresh new content, and I hope to see you guys all there. So peace out.